My name is Michiel Berg. I have several job titles, so it's a bit of a long answer. Answer number one is I'm head of global product management for a part of what you see, everything here behind us, so pharmaceutical and medical packaging components. Secondly, I'm also a general manager of some of the locations that we make these products into. The most surprising skill perhaps is finance. I'm an electromechanical engineer in background, rolled into the packaging world really because my master thesis was in product engineering and material science. So I'm a bit of a propeller head at heart. But I found that as you grow and gain more experience in the company, the financial aspects of the business are very important, and I've learned a lot about that. So even though the industry appears to move at slow pace and it's not very dynamic, what I found very interesting is that it is mentally very difficult because you are obliged to work first time right. So you have to take the right decisions today and tomorrow, but you gotta keep the today and tomorrow in mind, but not only today and tomorrow, but you gotta look 5, 6, 7 years down the road and make sure that the decisions that you make today are not a compromise against what is going to happen in the long-term future. And I find this intellectually very stimulating. So that plus there is a fair bit of innovation going on in this business. It may not look so, but there are tons of subtleties where we are actually able to make a difference for patients. And when you work with pharmaceutical companies, you know that your solutions will affect the health of the patients, and it's a very rewarding industry to be in. Also, that is a very good question because I have no regrets, I have no advice. I'm going to answer the question with a different example. I think approximately 2/3 of my fellow students started off their career by getting another master's degree because they were under the impression that a more diverse portfolio of education would give them a better chance. I started at Procter Gamble, and I think I learned much more there than what I learned in school, because this is where the rubber meets the road. Yeah, you work on a project, 6 months later it's on the supermarket shelf, and yeah, it makes the difference for a company, it makes the difference for the households and the way that people interact with your packaging materials. It can be a success, it can be an utter failure. There's very little black and white. You know, when you're in school and you have average grades or you have excellent grades, at the end you still get your diploma. Same result. When you're in the business world, there is no in between. Yeah, either it's a success or it's a failure. I advise everybody to start working because it's an excellent education.
At KP, sustainability is in every solution, from recyclable medical device films to recycled content card films. We're leading the future of sustainable packaging.
I had the chance, and it was by sheer luck, that the first assignment that they gave me at Procter Gamble was to develop the very first fabric softener bottle and dishwashing bottle containing post-consumer recycled plastic. At the time, the quality of those polymers was still pretty horrible. We ended up actually technically making good bottles. We put those on the supermarket shelves for pilots. Was a big success. Maybe the competition bought all of them. I don't know exactly what happened. But at the end, the quality also led to the fact that there was some off odors, and I think the industry is so much more advanced today, and the importance of the circularity and the sustainability is also so much more advanced. But yeah, I had the chance to take a start in sustainability, and so it's always been an important factor for me. So the typical things where you need to start playing the balancing act is on stability is often, most of the time, dictated by the amount of barrier that the primary packaging gives. Very typical barrier to moisture, sometimes to oxygen. So that's a key example, because we have historically always relied on multi-layer materials, combining different technologies of polymers, polymers that when put together can be recycled, but for some that is easier to do than for others. So today we are actually looking at solutions where we can still offer these stability requirements and barrier requirements, but going to solutions that are more easily recyclable. Yeah? Or finding ways to make the multi-layer films also recyclable. So that is a balancing act that we have to play. And the other aspect perhaps is that patients don't want to change their habits. So if tomorrow we invent something and it looks like a mousetrap, nobody will know that there's a pharmaceutical product inside. People still want a blister pack or a unit dose with drops to put in your eyes. Yeah. So people are used to take their medicine in a certain way, in certain historic and culturally defined packages, and we must keep those designs in mind as well. So the obvious ones that we are working on is health, yeah, health and well-being, and we are in that supply chain, yeah, because the products that we make, we offer this health and well-being. Of course, we are riding a little bit on the wave that is created by a new medicine, a new therapy, but it needs to be packed at the end of the day. The other thing that is really, I think, sustainable about the work that we do, that is when we are successful, we play into the sustainability goal of prosperity, work, and economic growth. Yeah. So it is really, really easy for us to put these sustainability goals from the United Nations into our business and into our strategy. The PPWR has been voted at the back end of December. So the final text has been published today. So it's a bit of a key moment here for the industry. It's out there. Implementation dates are known. There are exemptions, large exemptions for the pharmaceutical industry, for the medical industry, for the diagnostic industry, for veterinary packaging as well. Anything else is not exempt. But what we also think within TekniPlex is that many of the pharmaceutical companies will want to ride along those dictates by the PPWR, because this is actually the regulator's way to make sure that the circular economy gets implemented or becomes more circular in the future than in the past. It will probably never be perfect. So I think big pharma companies will want to adopt some of that, even though they don't have to. So we have to be ready with solutions, and there's going to be a big drive towards those changes. I don't think one is more impactful than the other. So everything moves in cycles and in phases. It starts with technical leadership and innovation. being able to think of new solutions. But thinking of new solutions, and let's say the holy grail for an innovator is to file a patent. Yeah? Once you have the patent filed, nothing has happened. Yes, it's a piece of paper. Yeah, this new sustainable innovation hasn't contributed to a more circular economy, to carbon footprint reduction, to better recyclability. You need to be able to commercialize it. In order to commercialize it, you often have to invest. So the commercialization efforts, the investments, the operational upscaling, the economic success as well. And then other parts of leadership kind of take over. And while that is going on, then you also have to think about what is the next step in terms of innovation. So it's a continuous cycle. You need everybody all the time. Not everybody is perfect at leadership all the time on all those aspects. So that's why we have a team. One of the breakthroughs that I really hope is going to come true is that we find ways of making all the current solutions sustainable. And what we see very clearly today is that certain solutions are more perceived as being sustainable than others. Yeah? And that is because some of the recycling streams are more advanced. But on a technical way, there are a lot of pharmaceutical packaging solutions or packaging solutions per se, which are sustainable if only they would be collected in the right way, they would be recycled in the right way, and that this happens at scale. And technically this is possible. So I'm hoping to see that solutions based on PVC, for example, will also be perceived as being sustainable, because there is an equally good recycling scheme for PVC-based packaging as there is for construction and window profiles, where everything is running much better because they are having larger volumes. So I really hope that us as the industry are able to realize good solutions for all the polymers that we use today. My approach to sustainability is to make sure that it's always top of mind and that it's part of everything that we do, just like technical performance, economic performance, sustainability is right there on par with everything else. That was a long sentence, but I think it's one.